Buddha emits a pure light, showing all the guides of the worlds, sojourning in the halls of wonder, on the peaks of Mount Sumerus. All of the kings of gods, all with 10 beautiful verses praising the enlightened ones. Among those great assemblies, the groups of enlightening beings have come from the 10 directions and sit calmly on the seats they made. The enlightening beings in those congregations all have the same names as we, and the names of the lands they come from are also the same as ours. The Buddhas of their own lands also have the same names as ours. Each one has, with a Buddha, purely cultivated unexcelled practices. Buddha children, you should observe the Buddha's powers of freedom. In all the Jambudvipas, all think the Buddha's there. We now see the Buddha on top of Sumeru. It's the same in the 10 directions, by the Buddha's power of freedom. In each world, they determine to seek the Buddha way, and based on such a vow, practice enlightening deeds. Buddha, with various bodies, travels throughout the worlds, unhindered in the cosmos, beyond the ken of anyone. The light of his wisdom always shines everywhere, removing all the darkness of the world. It has no compare at all. How can it be comprehended? Even if one always looked at Buddha for 100,000 eons, not according to the absolute truth, but looking at the Savior of the world, such a person is grasping appearances and increasing the web of ignorance and delusion, bound in the prison of birth and death, blind, unable to see the Buddha. Observing all things to be without inherent existence, whatever their appearances of origin and disappearance, being just provisional descriptions, all things are unborn, all things are imperishable. To one who can understand this, the Buddha will always be manifest. The nature of things is fundamentally empty and null, with no grasping and no vision. The emptiness of inherent nature is Buddha. It cannot be assessed in thought. If one knows the inherent nature of all things is like this person will not be affected by any afflictions. Ordinary people seeing things just pursue the forms and don't realize things are formless. Because of this, they don't see the Buddha. The sage is detached from the realms of time, replete with the marks of greatness, dwelling and non-dwelling, omnipresent without moving. I observe all things and clearly understand them. Now I see the Buddha with certainty, free from doubt. The enlightened one's great wisdom is rare, beyond compare. All beings in the worlds cannot reach it in their thoughts. Ordinary people's deluded views grasp forms and are not veritable. Buddha is beyond all forms, so not within their view. The deluded and unknowing wrongly grasp the forms of the 5 clusters, not understanding their true nature. Such people don't see Buddha. Knowing that all things have no inherent being of their own, understanding the nature of things this way, one will see Vairocana. Caused by the preceding 5 clusters, succeeding clusters arise in continuum. Comprehending this nature, one sees Buddha, inconceivable. Just like a jewel in the dark cannot be seen if there is no lamp, with no one to explain Buddha's teaching, even the intelligent cannot comprehend it. And like an eye with cataracts cannot see pure beautiful colors, so too the impure mind cannot see the Buddha's teaching. And as the bright clear sun cannot be seen by the blind, those who have no wisdom can never see the Buddhas. If one can remove the eye's cataract and abandon the concept of form and not see in terms of things, then one can see the Buddha. Things expressed by words, those of lesser wisdom wrongly discriminate and therefore create barriers and don't comprehend their own minds. If one doesn't comprehend one's own mind, how can one know the right path? Based on misconstrued intellect, they increase all evils. Not seeing all things are empty, always suffering the pains of birth and death. This is because such people cannot yet have the pure objective eye. In the past, I experienced suffering because I did not see Buddha. So one should clarify the eye of reality and see what is to be seen. If one can see the Buddha, one's mind will have no grasping. Such a person can then perceive truth as the Buddha knows it. If one can see Buddha's real teaching, one is said to have great knowledge. This person has pure eyes and can see into the world. If one has any views about things, this is not seeing anything. The nature of all things has no origin and no end. How wonderful, the great guide! Awakened himself, he can awaken others.